everyone watching here on this channel. So today I'm going to present on evolutionary features of Terminator seeds in agriculture. So what are the today's content? We'll discuss what is the definition of Terminator seeds, when and how it was developed, and what is the concept behind it, and is it a threat for farmers or not? What's the mechanism behind seed regeneration? So, what is Terminator seed? Terminator seeds are genetically engineered to be sterile after first harvest. Means after harvesting, you will obtain a sterile seed. Terminator technology is genetically engineered plants to produce sterile seeds at harvest. It is also called as GURD, that is genetic use restriction technology. The broad term refers to the use of an external chemical inducer to control the expression of plants' genetic traits. So, when was Terminator seed developed and how? So, it was developed by multinational seed industry and the US government to prevent the farmer from replanting the harvested seed, and farmers were forced to buy the seeds in each and every season they want to grow. So that seed industry, that multinational seed industry was Delta and Pine. It was largest cotton company which holds three US patents on Terminator technology with the US Department of Agriculture. In 2006, Monsanto, that is now called as Bayer, bought the company Delta and Pineland that owns the Terminator greenhouse research. Monsanto named this technology as gene protection technology, but the Canadian government was against it and renamed it as Terminator or Traitor. How Terminator seed threatens the farmer's right. So here it is the statement given by Sri Sompal in Rajya Sabha about calling attention motion regarding threat of American Terminator seed to Indian agriculture. So the Terminator seed, according to University of Agricultural Science in Bangalore, it blocks the genetically altered seed from germinating after one season and poses a global threat to the farmers, biodiversity, and food and ecological security. So this technology actually threatens the farmers' right to save the seed for their further harvest, after further harvest. So patent of plant gene expression with the Delta and Pine Company, along with Monsanto and US Department of Agriculture, for controlling the viability of seed produced without adversely affecting the crop. So this technology actually alters the genetic constitution of the seed so that it will not germinate if we want to raise the second crop. The farmer will be ultimately dependent on the Terminator seed, and they have to buy that same seed again and again for growing their crop. And in this case, the company can raise the price according to their desire, and this will affect the farmers. So the Directorate of Plant Protection, Quarantine and Storage of the Department of Agriculture and Cooperation issued the instruction to the import permit issues authority to ensure that seeds imported into India are not having Terminator seeds. So ICR and Department of Biotechnology will develop a suitable technology and will standardize the technique for detecting the Terminator genes or their combination in seeds. Why Terminator seeds will not commercialized? So it will not commercialized because the seed companies would control half of the global commercial seed market. If Terminator seed is commercialized, then it will incorporate the sterility genes in all the seeds. That's why the genetic seed sterilization would secure a much stronger monopoly than the patents. Instead of suing farmers for saving the seed, companies are trying to make it biologically impossible for farmers to save the seeds for further season. So, what are the molecular mechanisms behind the terminator seeds? That is, GURT involves, that is genetic use restriction technology. It involves manipulating the genes so that it can control the fertility or seed development. Often, a chemical inducer is used, that is, tetracycline, is used to trigger a genetic process that leads to sterility, or we can say loss of desired traits. Terminator is genetically engineered suicide mechanism that could trigger by a specific outside stimulus, results in self-destruction by self-poisoning of next generation seeds. Terminator consists of three novel genes, gene 1, gene 2, and gene 3, and it is inserted into one plant, other divided two or three genes on the two plants, which are later to be crossed. Molecular mechanism behind Terminator seeds involves three genes, gene 1, gene 2, and gene 3. Gene 1 is a repressor gene that produces repressor protein and interacts with the gene 2. And gene 2 is a recombinase gene that produces recombinase protein and controlled by promoter. Gene 3 is a lethal gene or toxin gene that produces a toxin which is lethal to embryo and is controlled by a late promoter, which is active in the last stage of the seed development. A blocker is present between the promoter and the toxin gene, or we can say lethal gene. So blocker is there in between the promoter and toxin gene, which blocks the ability of promoter to turn on the toxin gene. So here we can see that the promoter, and here is the repressor gene and recombinase gene, and here you can see the blocker in between the promoter and the lethal gene. And this is external inducer tetracycline is used, and it produces the toxin protein of interest. So the types of GURTs are VGURT and TGURT. VGURT is variety genetic use restriction technology. TGURT is trade genetic use restriction technology. VGURT restricts the use of entire variety by blocking its reproduction. It is also called as sterile seeds or suicide seeds. It is used to design to control the seed development through a genetic process. We use a chemical inducer, tetracycline, that will allow the plant to grow and to form seeds, but will cause the embryo of each of those seeds to produce a cell toxin, and it will prevent the seed from growing or when it is replanted. So we can say that whatever the seed we will obtain, that will be sterile, and it will allow the manufacturers to maintain their intellectual property right. In case of TGURT, it regulates expression of particular trait. It is considered as second generation of VGURT, and here one or more genes confers a single trait and are switched on or off through application of chemical inducer. Therefore, TGURT not intended to affect the viability of seeds. It enables the seed company to practice price discrimination, and this technology enables both seed and allied corporations to market both proprietary seed variety and agrochemical induce. So why Terminator seeds got banned in India? What was the reason? So India banned the Terminator seeds in 1998, but it was upheld and strengthened in 2006 after the pressure of Canadian, because according to them it was not seed protection technology, but it was a traitor. It was a Terminator seed. So the Terminator seed will force dependence on external seed sources. So it will threat the farmers' rights. It will not allow the farmers to conserve the seeds, seed selection process, and to apply the breeding techniques that have been used by farmers from ancient times. And we know that Canadians are dependent on the indigenous seed stocks. The drawbacks of the Terminator seeds. So here are some drawbacks, like the seed exports may harbor latent crop pathogen. It may activate the specific environmental stimuli. It will increase the potential emergence of novel toxins. The food will be accumulated with the allergens, and it will be harmful for animals. So risk integration of harmful traits into the genetic reservoir of the crops and wild relatives or land races. It is threat to food security. It will destroy the agricultural biodiversity, and the genetic seed sterilization will secure stronger monopoly than the patents. It will make the farmers impossible to save the seeds, conserve the seeds, reuse the seeds. So it would reduce genetic diversity in agricultural crops. Terminating the Terminator seed. So when these seeds are a threat to farmers' rights, so we need to terminate these seeds. States to the 1972 Biological Weapon Convention must denounce Terminator technology as economic warfare undermining the food security and agricultural stability. CGIAR at its global 1998 meeting, the CGIAR, that is Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research, the world's largest international public land breeding network, commit to its non-utilization in agricultural breeding programs. The CBD, that is Convention on Biological Diversity's subsidiary body on science and technology, classified Terminator as a biodiversity threat, and it told that it's a global prohibition is under World Trade Organization frameworks. Thank you for watching.